Bluff City Media presents the 2 Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody, and happy freaking Friday. We made it, boys. We got college football tomorrow. We've got the opportunity to enjoy some beverages tonight. Got a storm rolling in here in Memphis. But tucked away inside is your co-host, Rusty Buckets, my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck in Northeast Mississippi. Drew, how are you on this fabulous Friday?
I'm good. A little rushed, to be honest with you. I've just got a lot of things going. I'm calling a football game tonight, homecoming game in Faulkner. I've got a car in the shop. I'm trying to negotiate how in the world I'm going to get it. It's about an hour away. Rusty, if you could have somebody drop you off at the shop in Red Banks, Mississippi, just on the other side of Olive Branch, and drive it to Ripley tonight, I'll let you come to the game with me and hang out with me this weekend. So,
I'll be in Tippah County tonight, just a little bit different locale. I'll be in Walnut, the great metropolis of Walnut, watching my nephew ball out. He is the starting quarterback for Alcorn Central, and they are playing Walnut tonight. What are they? The Tigers? Is that right? I forget what they're mascot.
Wildcats.
Wildcats. See, I knew it was a big cat. Wildcats. And so it's an opportunity for them to go back-to-back. They beat Thrasher last week pretty handily, got an opportunity to go win tonight. And so I'm going to be there, and I'm excited to watch them play and hopefully get the dub for the Golden Bears.
That means it's going to be a boring night for me because I'm calling the Faulkner versus Thrasher game. And historically, if Alcorn Central beats you, it's a pretty bleak forecast for you. So maybe that's what you want, a homecoming win for Faulkner tonight.
Yeah,
so.
Never lost to Alcorn Central my time at Kossuth. So that's not.
I think it only happened. I think it only happened once when I was in school at both places.
So yeah, because it was there was 16 or 19 years between Central beating Kossuth and then the next time they beat them. And it wasn't on us. We weren't great when I was there, but at least we didn't lose to Central. But anyway, we have got a jam-packed football edition of the show. We are going to talk some Pablo Torre finds out because Drew did his homework. Shout out to Mr. Gann for doing the homework, listening to it.
You can count on me.
It's quite damning if you listen to it. And, I just love the way he lays it out. But we'll get to that here in a minute. We know the good people tune in on Friday for one reason and one reason only, and that is to pick against the spread. That is the Bucks Big Three. And I'm not talking about the FanDuel spread. We'll get to that here in a little bit. It's typically a spread of food, and we do not disappoint on this Friday as we get into our Bucks Big Three.
That's right. This is our Bucks Big Three. This is our first segment on our Friday show. It's where we just take a topic, and it's been all food recently, I believe. All food. We just pick our favorite three out of the category. We debate, we select, and then we post and let everybody tell us who's right and who's wrong. I'm undefeated or I've been cheated. So today is near and dear to my heart. It's honestly going to be the one that I'm going to be most upset about if I lose.
Yeah, this is near and dear to every fat kid's heart. Jared in the comment asking, y'all know where Selmer, Tennessee is? Absolutely. It's just
basically Mississippi.
Yeah, it's like a stone's throw from Corinth, but a lot of time in and around Selmer playing baseball, football. My brother lives in the great metropolis that is Mickey, which is a booming, bustling suburb of Selmer, Tennessee. If you know, you know. But yeah, Jared, y'all playing, I guess Westview is going down there to beat up on McNary Central. Yeah. Well, enjoy Selmer. Don't blink because you'll miss it. But today, Drew, we are picking something near and dear to chubby guys like myself's heart. I had one this morning. That's donuts. After my workout this morning that was subpar, I decided, you know what I want? I deserve a donut after that. So I went and got my favorite donut off of this list. It's going to go first overall because you went first last week in ice cream. I'm going first this week in donuts. There's an obvious one of one to me. The first pick of the Donut Bucks Big Three is a blueberry cake. It's my absolute favorite. It's not over the edge sweet. It's just a good, just perfect middle ground. Maggie makes a creamy that we talked about last Friday, the Ninja Creamy. She makes a blueberry crunch that tastes just like these blueberry donuts. So one of one is a blueberry cake donut.
I agree with you 100% on that. And that's not kind of go with the spirit of this segment here.
Yeah.
But I love a blueberry cake donut.
God, they're so good.
they are really good. And it's one of those I feel like it needs to be hot, but it doesn't have to be. You know,
that's one of the few that can be great. It's great piping right out of the grease. But if you let it sit for a little bit in the bag, like I did this morning, then you consume it, like it's still good. It doesn't get chewy like a glazed or some of the other like get a little bit harder. But like the blueberry cake is the goated donut.
Yeah. So listen, I struggle with variation on donuts because I truly believe a peak donut is a plain Krispy Kreme donut, just glazed, hot. Don't like. Some things you just don't need to experiment with. If it's broke, don't fix it. However, I am going to. I do see some other options here. I was going to take blueberry cake donut. So am I spiraling a little bit? Maybe a little bit. Am I stalling? Possibly. I'll just do it. I'll take just the elite, the original glazed donut with the It's got to be a quality donut because
the caveat
donuts are about like steaks too. Like a bad donut is just worthless. Like give me a Pop-Tart.
Yep.
But a warm glazed donut I'd put like 3 or 4 of them on a plate, stick them in the microwave, get them nice and tender, eat them with a fork. Oh, it's great.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's hard to argue. That's it's hard to beat a classic. You know, we had folks in the comments last Friday picking vanilla ice cream. So I'm sure that was going to land well with some of you vanilla ice cream fans out there. Edward's talking about old fashions being slept on. Red velvet is a great choice. Red velvet is my favorite cake. And so red velvet is a solid choice for a donut.
Velvet. Sorry.
But I'm going to pick a little bit outside of the box for my next one and go with a fancy donut. So when I was in Myrtle Beach, I had a patient that would come in at my 6 a.m. appointment Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He had both knees replaced. He came in for 18, 20 visits, 2 separate times, so a total of like 40 visits. And the first time he ever came, he brought donuts. And I was like, oh, they're great. I like donuts. He's like, but what's your favorite? And I was like, I mean, blueberry cake's probably my favorite donut, but like truly my favorite of the breakfast sweets that you see here on your screen is an apple fritter. And so I got an apple fritter, and like he would bring 4 to 6 apple fritters Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 6 to 8 weeks at a time. And every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would have a minimum 2 because you pop an apple fritter in the microwave for just a few, like 30 seconds, get it piping hot, and you get that like apple pie, cinnamon kind of flavor to it. Apple fritters. You talk about, Edward's talking about old fashions being slept on. Apple fritters are slept on.
Now define a fritter. Is that like a bear claw?
No, it's different because like you've got your big apple fritter here, you got a bear claw next to it. So a bear claw is actual donut shaped in like kind of a funky, like in the bottom middle here, shaped like a bear claw. Yeah. An apple fritter is like it's like apple and donut dough kind of all
I know it's great
together. Oh, it's so good.
I'm so pissed. I hate this so much.
I'm 2 out of 2, baby.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Because. And I've got one that I will take that it's just so similar that it's like apple because my favorite filling is apple. Absolutely. Just like anything apple cinnamon. And so like, my next pick was going to be the apple field donut. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'll take it because it's my favorite and I'll be honest. But like, I don't even know if I see it on here, but it should be.
It is. Top. It's the second row all the way at the right.
Okay. I'll take the apple field. It's just so similar to you that I hate it. But I think I would actually prefer an apple field over the bear claw because, like I said, I'm such a sucker for the apple cinnamon filling of an apple pie or a turnover or anything like that. So I'll go the apple field.
Yeah. I just know I'm beating you to sleep this week. There's so many options. The world is my oyster here for my final one. Do I go another cake? Because the chocolate cake is good. I'm not. I'm going with an elite favorite of mine. It's kind of slept on. I'm not sure people like it as much as I do. But like you said, I'm picking my favorites. So I'm picking for me and not the people here. I'm going to Boston cream. I don't like jelly filled. I don't like custard and all these other ones in here. But a good Boston cream filled with chocolate glaze on top. It's essentially a chocolate glazed donut with a little bit of cake icing on the inside. I'm going to risk it a little bit and go
Boston. Yeah, you're risking it for sure.
But I love a Boston cream.
So I will how do I want to do it? Because you left the door wide open for me. I've got a lot I like. You know, I could win this soundly. I think if I took like just your standard chocolate donut. because so many people like chocolate donuts or donut holes. Donut holes are amazing. I
They're
could take
elite.
the whole donut, the glazed donut and the hole that you punch out the middle of it. I
Sure.
could take the whole thing. And so I'm wide open. Although I'm going to go with. So I'm trying to see. There's only pictures on some of these, but I'm going to go with a cinnamon sugar donut. It's a glazed donut. I mean, it's not a glazed donut. It's like a cake donut, basically, where you got cinnamon sugar on top of it. It's great. You can have about 8 of them. Be careful when you take a bite. You can't take too big of a bite, or you will inhale the dust off of it, and you will think you're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
So just be careful, but you can still eat a great quantity of these. You just need to eat them a little bit slower. It's almost like putting a governor on it because it forces you to eat it slower, so you don't eat as much. So it's kind of like a diet donut a little bit.
It is. Makes you slow down. If not, you're gonna get the Popeyes biscuit treatment where you're essentially just eating like cement mixer and it's just gonna solidify in your gullet,
Right.
and then you're in trouble.
It's like the saltine challenge. Remember the saltine challenge?
Yeah.
Six crackers in a minute with no water.
Yeah, with no water, brother. You are eating cement, like quick dry cement is what you're eating there. Same with apple cinnamon, the cinnamon sugar donuts. Same with powdered donuts and Popeyes biscuits for sure. So to recap, I got the elite list. I got the blueberry cake. I got the apple fritter. I got the Boston cream. 3 absolute bangers. Make sure you vote on look for them on your socials. They'll be on your socials, your Instagram and your X today, and vote in our poll.
Yeah, so your list you really ruined it with the Boston cream. Because I've got glazed this is the $20 bill of donuts here. Just they say or it's the $100 bill. You know that the $100 bill is the most popular currency in the world, and it's because of drug money and whatnot.
Yeah,
like they all just deal in $100 bills.
Yeah.
The glazed donut is that. It's the most popular for a reason. And so I got the glazed donut, apple filled, which is just like Rusty's except with more apple, which is better. And I've got the cinnamon and sugar, which is like, the cinnamon toast except in a better delivery method. So yeah,
did you
my
take
list
the
is incredible.
cinnamon toast crunch of donuts? Is that what I'm hearing?
did.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I still like my list.
I
still
beat
beat
you
to
step
sleep.
down a little bit.
No,
back off a
absolutely
little
not.
bit.
Beat you to sleep this week. This is going to be the one that I absolutely lap everybody in. But before we take our commercial break, just a reminder, tomorrow at the venue at Bartlett Station, I'll be there hanging out with Mr. Reggie Howard, talking Negro League Baseball, former player. He's 95, 96 years old. Super excited to hang out with him and chat with him about the evolution of the game. Y'all come hang out. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring your cards to get valued. You never know who's going to be there. There's a lot of celebrities kind of come through this. I am not one of them, but you can come hang out with a regular guy like me. Super excited to be there hanging out. I'm going to be interviewing him, some other folks. If you want to hop on and chat with me for a little bit, I'm going to be going live from the Mid-South Card Show tomorrow, 9 to 3. Bring your family. Come hang out with me. It's going to be an awesome time. Bum Drew can't be there, but it's going to be he's going to be celebrating Mama Vicky. So good weekend to be had. But y'all come hang out with me tomorrow at the Mid-South Card Show in Bartlett. On the other side of the commercial break, we got some Pablo Torre to talk. We got some college football to talk, including a segment I hadn't told Drew about yet, where we're going to talk about the state that has the best winning record in all of college football. Stick around on the other side of the commercial break. We'll talk about it.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I am super amped about this game. I just have this feeling that it's going to be a very special day in Memphis on Saturday.
I hope so.
I had a chance today at the media press conference at the availability to talk to some media members that were not in Memphis in 2019 and share with them what college game day coming to Beale Street was like. The season feels like a 2019 type of season.
Already.
It just does. It just does. It feels like a Destiny type of team. That really, really amps me up for this Saturday, because this is just another chapter in the story that I think this season is going to end up being for the Tiger football program.
I hope you're right. I hope you were right. You're getting me fired the heck up.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis, every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
We are 2 weeks away from NBA training camp. I want to know what things you guys are intrigued about the most. Edward says he needs to see a Cedric Coward workout video. It's not that I think the Grizzlies are being weird about it. I just think that our level of anxiety for it is high. And whether you want to debate whether that's understandably high or just y'all just tripping high, that's for each man to determine. I don't think the Grizzlies are being weird about it at all. Like I think if I was watching something and it felt like they were intentionally showing him working out for whatever reason, I would think that's weird too, man. Like I haven't seen Brandon Clark pick up a ball in forever, but I'm kind of assuming he's going to be ready to play. Like I'm not pointing any grand conspiracy about hiding Brandon Clark. Like I don't particularly have to see Cedric Coward play basketball to think that he's fine or he'll be ready for camp. I haven't seen anybody do anything with a basketball since Summer League. The guys that played in Summer League, I saw them play. I ain't seen nobody do anything since then.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show Friday edition of the show. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. The chat is popping off. I'd like to tell everybody right now, if you're watching on x.com, Bluff City Media, to come on over to youtube.com/Bluff City Media. Hop in the live chat here. And also, if you're in the live chat, if you're coming this way, hit the thumbs up for us. It helps us out a lot, get this thing boosted quickly, get more eyes on us. And we believe that's a good thing. You may disagree, but if you disagree, hit the like button, comment, and tell us you disagree. Do not hit the down button, okay? That will send us to purgatory, and we're better than that, okay? We're better than that. So hit the thumbs up button. If you hit the thumbs up button, you can dog us however bad you want to in the comments, but you've got to give us a thumbs up first.
Yeah, I mean, we are the world's okayest podcast. Like, we know we're not great. We know we're not the worst. We're just the okayest. And so give us a thumbs up if you agree that we're the okayest podcast in the world. But before we get to football talk, Drew, Pablo Torre is digging a grave for Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard, and the Los Angeles Clippers. As I referenced yesterday on the show, more information is coming out about payments and timestamps and testimonies and pleading the fifth that is just more and more damning for Steve Ballmer and the Clippers in this. And the only thing that makes it worse, besides the evidence that Pablo Torre keeps putting out, is Mark Cuban's unhinged tirades from his basement, where I imagine him just down there like, I'm going to show that whippersnapper, I'm going to get those kids, as he's just typing away 3,000 words in a tweet. Brother, what is going on in Clipperland?
Listen, Steve Ballmer needs to holler at his billionaire buddy there and just tell him to back off, because it seems that Pablo Torre was content with dropping this the initial bomb and then letting the chips fall where they may, and then Mark Cuban decided to go full, quote, Team Ballmer and attack Pablo Torre and call him out and then just kind of besmirch his character as a journalist, in which Pablo Torre has now came out with 2 additional episodes poking holes in what Mark Cuban said. And even to the point to like saying, if this was a reason, Mark Cuban said, if this was true, he should have just done this, this, and this. And Pablo Torre said, you know what? He did do this, this, and this. He did pump more money into here. He did try to keep them afloat. Here's how they did it. And it just further stuck the knife into Steve Ballmer because he did try to keep this from coming out. He did pump more money into this company. It's just a bad look all the way around.
It's Pablo Torre went full Michael Jordan from the clip from The Last Dance where he goes, and I took that personally, and just
Exactly.
proceeded to go scorched earth and bring it up again. Courtroom testimony where when asked, the now imprisoned former CFO of Aspiration pled the fifth around his Clippers relationship, his Kawhi Leonard relationship. You know, you've got Uncle Dennis saying, hey, the money hadn't come through yet. Like, who pays $28 million for an athlete to literally do nothing? And then the NBA, which I think is interesting, there's starting to be more and more coming out from these NBA accounts, like loosely affiliated accounts, about how difficult Kawhi Leonard truly is and how bad of a teammate he was back in 2019 when he was rehabbing away from the Spurs and wanted nothing to do. The Spurs docs were saying he was cleared. His team was saying he wasn't. Tony Parker had a worse injury and came back sooner. Like, it feels like what's being painted, it's a very obvious picture that Kawhi Leonard is going to be the fall guy, that Adam Silver is going to maybe slap the wrist of the richest owner in the NBA, give him a little bit of a fine, maybe whatever, but it looks like Kawhi Leonard is heading towards being the scapegoat. And that's a bummer because, yes, he also participated in circumventing the cap, but it was a lot on Steve Ballmer and the Clippers for doing this scrupulous activity. And then the last thing I'll say, Mark Cuban piling on has now had people in the comments and the mentions saying, hey, Pablo Torre, look into that Dirk contract. When Dirk was offered $92, $95 million, whatever it was by the Lakers, and he turned it down and took a 4-year, $25 million instead of the massive deal that the Lakers were offering, maybe Mark Cuban is up in his feels because he did the exact same thing for Dirk. The people are asking.
Mark is a smart man. Does he shoot his mouth off a lot? Yes. If he actively circumvented the cap and then he did that and come out so pro him, that'd be pretty stupid. To be the most vocal supporter of Steve Ballmer would be pretty dumb. He would just keep out of it altogether, I would think. Listen, I don't know what they do here. I would void Kawhi's contract. I don't know what you do here because I don't think that it's ever going to come to Steve Ballmer being asked to sell the team or being forced to sell the team. No. And this is the reason why. He's the 6th richest man in the world. He is by far the richest owner in the world. Pablo Torre said that he could buy out every single NBA owner right now with just the money that he has. Mm-hmm. And that's a guy that you want. He is a universally liked character. He's been seen as a good owner to work with. I don't think that they want to do it. But another layer on top of that is I don't know how much money they just spent to build the Intuit Dome, but he financed that out of his own pocket. This is not with the help of LA County or anything like that. This was personally financed arena that they just built and are about to start their second season in this Intuit Dome that was personally financed wholly by Steve Ballmer. So I don't really know what you can do. We've talked about the lack of draft picks, and if you just take the next 5 draft picks, then you're punishing players that had nothing to do with this. You know, I'm always kind of scared to force retribution on people that did not participate. You know, so I do think it needs to be wholly owned by Steve Ballmer and his associate and Kawhi Leonard and Uncle Dennis. But I just know that if he levies massive sanctions to people that are not Steve Ballmer, then the Clippers roster not named Kawhi Leonard, and for the next 10 years, they're going to feel the wrath of this. And I don't even know if it's their fault. It's not their fault. It's not their penance to pay.
Well, it's like when college football would do a bowl ban for recruiting violations in the past, right? Like, there's not going to be a postseason ban. That would be unprecedented. We've never seen that in professional sports.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I think, like, at best, Steve Ballmer is going to get a massive fine. I can see them making Dennis Wong maybe sell his share of it since he's such a minority owner. 1%. The 1% he owns. Yeah. But Adam Silver is not going to go out and go scorched earth on one of the biggest money men in the NBA. He's just not going to do that. I think it'd be I think the most likely punishment, as you said, is avoiding of Kawhi Leonard's contract, which that may be what he wants anyway. And then he's going to go play 30 games somewhere else for a max deal. But I'm curious what this would do. Do you think this has any reflection or is there any retribution of teams being like, oh, I want nothing to do with Kawhi Leonard in his camp based on what has happened here?
No, I don't think necessarily, because Kawhi Leonard is a generational talent if he's healthy. So is it too much? Yes. I don't know if he's going to get a max deal, but let's just put it in terms of the Memphis Grizzlies. Say Adam Silver voids his contract. It is now September the 19th, and he has no team to play for. He's going to have to take a vet minimum deal at least for 1 year just to fit in the cap somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I would absolutely take Kawhi Leonard, but you've got to have assurances. One, Uncle Dennis is not a member of this camp anymore. I don't speak to Uncle Dennis. Uncle Dennis does not speak to me. He is not around the facility. He's not sitting behind the bench. He's not moving and shaking with FedEx and whoever the other big name, Ortho South or we're not doing this. You're not talking to Uncle Dennis. Kawhi has an agent. You speak to Kawhi's agent or you speak to Kawhi, and everything has to come through Zach Kleiman. Somebody will do that. He's too good of a player not to do that. But if you tell me that we have a situation in which it becomes just too big of a headache, then maybe. But the talent is there, and somebody will see him as a missing piece of the title this year, because he is. He's still that good.
He is. Even with the baggage, you just got to get it. Like you said, you got almost like what they did with D-Tap and Ja. You've got to cut ties there. It's the only way that you're going to be able to sign.
Yeah,
but somebody would.
D-Tap is still around.
I know.
He's not going to cut ties.
He's not the most vocal, Uncle, he was not as involved as he once was. Uncle Dennis would need to be the same. But somebody would take a chance on Kawhi Leonard simply because of the talent, even with the baggage that comes with Kawhi Leonard. But I'm curious what else Pablo has in the bag, what else he has in the magazine that's loaded, that's coming. Surely this is it. But if Mark Cuban keeps poking the bear, I don't know that it is, Drew.
He did end the show yesterday. Pablo Torre finds out by saying he just needs to walk away for a minute. And so you may see the end of it for a little bit, but the NBA has had all their investigating done for them. And
that's
so
it.
What they do with that, I don't know. What they can do with that, I've kind of laid out the reasons why going nuclear is kind of weird in this situation. But you got to do something. You've got to make the penance fair and even, or else you're going to have other owners gripe about it. I think other owners are not happy about this. So
that's it. Somebody's got to step up. And like your great Uncle Paul B used to say, if you can't play with chickens, stay away from the roosters. Shout out Cousin Kirk.
That's not the goose you want.
That's it. But we'll keep an eye on it, keep you up to date on the latest. But in the meantime, we do have some football talk.
All right, it's week number 4 coming down the pike here. Both of our teams are playing their 4th game. Ole Miss has one more game before a bye. I'm not sure about Mississippi State, but pretty good weekend of football here in college football.
Yeah, we've got 2 more before a bye. We've got Northern Illinois this weekend, Tennessee next weekend. But before we get to picking against the spread, Drew, I don't know if you've looked. I don't know if you've seen this. If you have, play along. Can you guess what state in this great nation – it ain't London, I can tell you that. But what great state in this nation has the most college football wins, the best winning percentage thus far in this young 4-week season?
Well, I'm going to assume Mississippi because that's what you said. Both Ole Miss and Mississippi State are undefeated. Southern Miss has at least one loss to Mississippi State. Alcorn State, God help them, after their week 3 loss to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're talking FBS. The great state of Mississippi is 8-1 on this young season. Mississippi State's 3-0. Southern Miss is 2-1. Ole Miss is 3-0. And we are 8-1 as a state, followed by Utah, who's going to put that up to the test against Texas Tech this weekend. Pennsylvania, Kentucky randomly, and Tennessee are your top 5. Kentucky and Tennessee both being tied at .750. So, yeah, the great state of Mississippi has the best winning record in all of college football. which brings the question, Drew, do we help that record this weekend? We're going to talk about Tulane and Ole Miss here in a minute, so we'll kind of briefly touch on that here. But Northern Illinois travels to Mississippi State. State's a 21.5-point favorite on FanDuel.com. And then Southern Miss travels to Ruston, Louisiana. And one of the hottest I have ever been in my entire life and most miserable was my senior year in college. We took a big road trip down to Ruston, stayed with some friends, watched Mississippi State lose to Louisiana Tech, where they had a 5'1" punt returner who was fast as lightning and just run all over us that day. It was tough times in Starkville I guess in Ruston for sure. But Southern Miss travels to face the Bulldogs as a 3.5-point road underdog. Drew, do you any thoughts on Mississippi State and Southern Miss? Do you think we can extend our lead in the best winning percentage?
Well, I tell you, if Mississippi State loses to Northern Illinois, don't show up this weekend. Don't show up for next week's show because you're going to ruin it for the whole state, like Starkville typically does. Just like we do make so much progress as a state, only for the people of Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah, says the university that is the rebels, but anyway.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it should make easy work in Northern Illinois. I don't think they're that good. You know, they did upset Notre Dame last year, but that's a fluke. Everybody knew that was a fluke. Can't give you the first thought on La Tech versus the Mustard Buzzards.
Little brother.
I see La Tech is favored at home. Typically, you're going to get 3 points if you are the home team. So,
it's a pick 'em.
Virtually a pick 'em. If it were on a neutral site, you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I threw it up here just for us to talk about some FanDuel odds and to gloat a bit as Mississippi is 8-1 on this young season. I think we do. I think we go 3-0 this weekend. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. I think Mississippi State, this is my only chance to talk about State this week because it is Northern Illinois. I think that game's a little bit closer because Northern Illinois, yes, it was a fluke to beat Notre Dame last year, but they're always that they beat A&M, they beat Notre Dame. I don't think they beat Mississippi State this weekend, but State being a 21.5-point favorite, and on FanDuel.com, I took Northern Illinois to cover. I think it's closer than 3 touchdowns. I mean, look, State could still win 24-10 and win convincingly, but not cover a 21.5-point spread. Something about that makes me a little bit nervous. I hope that I'm eating crow on Monday and State wins 63-0 again. But I don't see it happening. Northern Illinois is tough. They embody their coach really well, who stopped short of saying if we had Power 4 money, we'd be better, but almost said in his press conference yesterday, I think that game's closer, but I do think State wins, and I don't think that they cover. And so I'm trying to be unbiased there, Drew. You know, I've been taking some victory laps recently about Mississippi State's upset win over Arizona State. So I'm going to, kind of pump the brakes here, especially because this is the ultimate trap game. When you come off a big win over Alcorn State, you got Northern Illinois, and then Tennessee's coming to town next weekend.
Big win.
You gotta
big win with a running clock and a 20 minute
63-0.
Yeah.
I think 63-0. This is a look ahead game, so be careful of that. But we do every Friday pick against the FanDuel.com spread across 8 games. We put them up on our Instagram story. You pick as well. We see who wins. Currently on this young season, I am sitting 9-6. Drew sitting 5-10. So there's an opportunity to make up some ground here, Drew, as I'm sure we're going to disagree on quite a few of these. But I'll concede to you first as we get started here. The first game we're picking is Texas Tech, who you've been a bit bullish on, travels to Salt Lake City to face Utah. Utah is a 2.5-point home favorite. This is definitely a pick 'em because Utah's not even getting the full 3.5 on their own home field. Texas Tech spent a ton of old money this offseason. Who do you think wins, Texas Tech or Utah?
Yeah, I'm going to go Utah just because they are the home team. It's hard to go to Utah and win a game. That's an 11 a.m. kick. Listen, this is a game like last week. We talked about Notre Dame and Texas A&M, where I wish I could have one more week before I could make a declaration on one of them. In my bear market of the week, a bull market rather, I was between Texas Tech and Utah. I ended up going with Texas Tech because of just the money and the margin of victory. Utah and Texas Tech both have just drilled every single team that they've played this year. I'm going to go Utah because they are the home team. I was not looking forward when it comes to when I was making my bull market predictions earlier in the week. The home team does sway it for me. I'm going to go Texas Tech. I'm sorry, Utah, as does Grok. Grok also goes Texas Tech in this matchup.
Yeah, and I'm going to Utah as well. It's actually a 10 a.m. local time. So it's 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain Time kick. That's hard to travel up, play 10 a.m. in the altitude. Utah's offensive line is really, really good. They have a couple of future NFL prospects. And again, like you said, it's a home field, it's altitude, it's a 10 a.m. kick. It's a gross recipe for not an upset, but I think Utah kind of covers pretty easily. I can see this being maybe like a touchdown to a 10-point game. Give me the Utes to win at home.
The Utes.
The Utes.
As my cousin Vinny once said.
the Utes. The Utes. Next up, near and dear to several people on our network and one Jared Davidson in our comments, Arkansas comes to Memphis to the Simmons Bank Liberty Bowl as a 7.5-point road favorite. That's SEC favoritism. That's what Arkansas has done so far. I think Taylon Green is a problem, but I think Arkansas's defense is going to be a problem in the other way. They had a hard time slowing down Ole Miss. They had a hard time slowing down some mobile quarterbacks this year. And Braden Lewis from Memphis can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his legs. Sutton Smith, the running back, is having a really good start to his season. I think Memphis is going to give Arkansas problems. I don't know that I'm going to go all the way and say they upset Arkansas, but I can see this being like 34-31, 35-31 Hogs. I don't know. I'm not bold enough to sit here. I've got some bold predictions coming up here in a little bit. I don't know this is one that I'm going to take, but I'm taking Memphis plus 7.5 at home. I think they at least cover, but I also think they could upset Arkansas if they could get after and rattle Taylon Green early.
Yeah, so I hate that we're going to agree so much on this. I've got Memphis
fine. You know what?
as well.
All right, fine. You know what, Jared? I'm going to stand by it. I have said for 2 weeks I'm going to upset them. Give me Memphis to cover. I don't want to pick the same as you. Give me Memphis to cover and to win outright, baby. Give me Memphis on the money line. Let's go.
Oh, wow. You're a real man of your convictions, aren't you?
I am.
Just,
I'm sticking with it now.
Just like that. I'm going to take Memphis here. Listen, all the models have this as a really close game, and Arkansas is getting 7.5 on the road. I do believe in Taylon Green. I think he's arguably the best quarterback in the SEC, number 2 quarterback in the SEC. However you want to look at it, he's up there. I think Bobby Petrino's offense is an elite offense. I think that they're going to score a lot of points. I would hammer the over. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is.
I'll find it.
And I would hammer the over. The hook is what bothers me. I got to get over a touchdown for an Arkansas bet to win. So I'm going to go Memphis at home. What time is this kickoff?
It's an 11 a.m. kickoff, and right now on FanDuel, as we said, it is 60.5 on FanDuel.
60.5. I would hammer it. Grok picks Memphis as well, so Rusty's on an island on this one. And so, yeah, I'm going to go Memphis on this one, just because I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. So give me the Tigers.
Yep, Memphis. I'm taking Memphis outright and hammer the over 60.5 on FanDuel.com as we sit. Next up,
also of note in that Arkansas may be looking forward a little bit to a home matchup to Notre Dame next week.
A little peek ahead. Little peek ahead. All right, so you got Auburn leaving the plains and traveling to Norman, Oklahoma to face Cinderella, darling, one of Drew's top 5 teams in our Grease poll yesterday. The Oklahoma Sooners and John Mateer, who have lit the world on fire this year. Oklahoma is the 6.5-point home favorite. Drew, I think you're taking the Sooners. Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Sooners here. Listen, Auburn so far has just seemed so one-dimensional. I think Jackson Darnold is a really good runner, but they've got only two receivers that have eclipsed 100 yards on the season. Their top receivers, I think, only have at most 15 receptions. And so I think Oklahoma has a vaunted defense. I think that Oklahoma is going to try to make Jackson Arnold throw the ball. If Jackson Arnold shows to be able to throw the ball and get Cam Coleman the ball effectively, it will be the first time that that's happened this year. But that's the only way that Auburn has a shot in this game, is to be able to throw the ball. And I think Oklahoma's going to dare him to do so. I am a huge fan of John Mateer. I think that this game just lines up perfectly with Oklahoma. I don't necessarily care about the revenge thing. I think that's a thing of the past now. Mm-hmm. Maybe with the quarterback position, it's the only one you can make an argument for. But as many transfers there are this year, the whole revenge factor, that's just kind of the game. And so I think Oklahoma wins. I think they win big. They definitely cover 6.5.
I was on that train for sure. But I'm doing some research this week and kind of getting prepped for this, listening to Zach on Wednesday. I think that Auburn's physicality up front can create some problems for John Mateer. We have not seen John Mateer under pressure yet. Nobody's really gotten after him. Michigan didn't do it. Temple didn't do it. Eastern Oklahoma School for the Blind and Deaf didn't do it in week 1. I don't know that Auburn can. Listen, I don't think Auburn's going to win this game. I think Jackson Arnold's going to force it a little bit. Yeah, it's not a revenge game, but there's also some of that, like, I want to go show you what I can do type, and I could see him forcing the ball. But Oklahoma's secondary is not that good. Auburn's secondary is okay, but their front line, their defensive line is very physical. I took Zach's advice. I looked up. I went and watched some. I did some research on it, and Auburn gets after the quarterback. I think if they can get John Mateer uncomfortable for the first time this season, force some 3rd and longs where they can get off the field, I think Auburn has a chance to keep it close. But I think what you're going to see is 2 really good defenses keeping the offenses at bay. I think this is like a 17-14, like a ugly kind of game, 21-17. I think Oklahoma wins, but I think Auburn covers. I'm going to take Auburn to cover the 6.5 because I think this could be a gross defensive-minded game where both teams are trying to run the football and protect their quarterbacks from elite-level defenses, and it just kind of slogs to an ugly finish. Give me Auburn to cover, but not win outright.
You forget that they call this man John Mateer crazy legs for a reason.
That's fair.
Bring the pass rush on. It probably just he's best when he's bailing and running anyway.
And so. Jackson Arnold is not a terrible rushing quarterback either. He's decent with his legs.
It's what he's best at, honestly.
I think this could be an ugly running the football type game.
If both teams are going to make the quarterback throw the ball, which is kind of what you're leaning to here, give me John Mateer of Jackson Arnold every single day.
And which is why I think Oklahoma's going to win, but I don't think that they cover. All right, Drew. So up next, you've got Tulane and Ole Miss. I'm going to lob this one up to you first. Tulane, the Green Wave, comes traveling into Oxford as a 12.5-point road dog. Tell me what your thoughts are for the Rebels.
Well, I think this is the last time you'll ever see Ole Miss play Tulane. This is too good of a team to sacrifice one of your non-conference games on. The SEC goes to 9 games next year. We will hear that revealed next week.
On Tuesday.
3 permanent opponents. And it's also leaked out. Somebody from Tennessee leaked out that they were theirs was Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Alabama, which would just be, I would throw mud on that all over.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Joke.
Absolutely.
But having said that, SEC going to 9 games, I don't think Ole Miss would ever schedule Tulane again. Tulane is really good. They've got 2 Power 4 wins, rather, with a win against Northwestern and a blowout against Duke. I think this team's really good. They've got the transfer, Jake Retzlaff, the BYU, as they called him, in Provo, Utah last year.
Amazing.
He's really good on his feet. He's a mobile guy. You've seen where that caused Ole Miss problems last week. I do think that Ole Miss is going to play Trinidad Chambliss. He is going to be the quarterback. I do not think Austin Simmons will even dress out. A lot of people had comments about the injury report last week with Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Austin Simmons, yeah.
Yeah, which was stupid because Austin Simmons dressed and played, so I don't really know what everybody was talking about. So I don't think that Austin Simmons dresses or plays today or tomorrow against Tulane. I'm picking Tulane. 12.5 is a big number. It is at home. I think Ole Miss wins again. I was impressed with Trinidad Chambliss last week. I thought he was really good in the short to intermediate routes. He was really, really good with his feet. I don't know how well I trust the deep ball, but the receivers are there to go get it if you get it close. I just don't love it. I don't love this being the week before LSU and being the week after Arkansas. It doesn't necessarily smell trap game because Tulane's not sneaking up on anybody anymore, but I don't love a 12.5-point line. So I kicked myself for taking Ole Miss against Kentucky, so I pivoted and took Arkansas last week and enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And so I'll ride the wave here.
Right.
I think Ole Miss wins, Tulane covers.
I
Another
agree.
game where the over is in
61.5 is the over currently on FanDuel.com. Tulane, now, Austin Simmons has been turnover prone. We don't. Trinidad Chambliss, he didn't have any turnovers last week, if I remember correctly.
Ole Miss did not turn the ball over last week.
Tulane has forced 8 turnovers so far in 3 games. I think if Austin Simmons was in play, then that's a very dangerous stat. With Trinidad Chambliss, yes, he played great last week. This is a home game. He's probably going to protect the football. But that stat gives me some pause if I'm Ole Miss, because Tulane is a very opportunistic defense. They are very exotic in a lot of their coverages and the way that they disguise things. I think Ole Miss wins, but again, 38-35, 44-41. I think there's a bunch of points. I think this is close. I think Tulane covers 12.5 is a big number for a team that forces a lot of turnovers against a young, inexperienced, quote-unquote, quarterback. Tulane does a lot of things that can get themselves off the field on defense. 12.5 is a big number. Give me the green wave to cover 12.5, but I think Ole Miss wins. Again, hammer the over in this game. Hammer.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. I will always push back on the Austin Simmons turnover prone yet. He's had 2 really bad ones, and he's got smashed while throwing on 2 of them. That totals 4. He's played in 2 games. I'm holding. He's going to be fine. I want him to get all this crap out of his system. That's the reason why I wish Austin Simmons was playing against Arkansas and struggling, and I wish that he was playing against Tulane and struggling and figuring it out. That's the biggest detractor, I think, to him being injured. I don't think it changes our win percentage or win likelihood if Austin Simmons is playing or Trinidad Chambliss. I just wish that, like Ed Sheeran once said, when learning to write music, you just picture a sink filled with mud and turning the water on. You got to wash the mud out before you can be good. And Austin Simmons is not having an opportunity to do that, and it sucks.
That's fair. In a game that's going to be the polar opposite, when I made this last night, Michigan was a 2.5-point road favorite at Nebraska, which is basically a pick 'em. That line has dropped to 1.5 on FanDuel, and the over-under is at 47.5. Yeah. I'm taking the Cornhuskers, and I'm hammering the under. This is the Bussin' Bowl. You got Josh Pate's going to be there. Bussin' with the Boys are going to be there. This is an opportunity. So Josh Pate talked about on his show this week, and doing my research, Matt Rule, year 1, you're terrible. Year 2, you're a little bit better. Year 3, that's when you hit the gas. Like most coaches, Mike Leach experience was the same way. I think the Matt Rule plays out here. I think you talk about ugly smash mouth football. Bryce Underwood gets uncomfortable on the road. He was never comfortable in Norman, Oklahoma. They gave you the recipe, and that's just like the GATA philosophy. And if you're familiar with GATA in college football, it's GATA. And that's get after their ass. And that's what Nebraska's going to do against Michigan. I think it's going to get Bryce Underwood uncomfortable. Cornhuskers under, win big in Lincoln. A big win, excuse me. They don't win big. Hell, it could be a 3-2 game. But give me Nebraska to get the big win at home.
Yeah, so let me do some housekeeping real quick because I forgot. Grok has Oklahoma in the Auburn at Oklahoma game, and they have Ole Miss. Grok has Ole Miss. I say they. I don't know if AI has pronouns.
Yeah.
But
we're inclusive here on the 2 Buck Sports Show, so it's they.
All right, so I'm in agreement. I'm with Nebraska on this one as the home team in the Bussin' Bowl. Listen, and Sharon Moore is serving the first of a 3-game suspension in this game too. So I do like Matt Rule. I think this game.
You got Sleeveless McGee that's coaching Michigan.
I was going to ask you if you knew who the interim coach is. Biff Poggi.
Biff Poggi, the ultimate football game name, right there.
Yeah, so he was at what was he? Charlotte. That's right.
Charlotte.
He's a billionaire himself. He just kind of funded all of Charlotte, and that was a fun story for about a season and a half.
Biff.
So I'm going with off-brand Mahomes in Nebraska, but more because of Matt Rule.
That is disgusting. How much he tries to mimic Pat Mahomes. He
probably shaved his head to mimic Patrick Mahomes now.
I'm sure he even does like the little finger things. Like he does all the weird little gimmicks, but
his pregame stuff. Yeah.
The whole thing. And the other reason to pick against Michigan is Biff is known as the bad guy from Back to the Future, and we don't root for the bad guys around here. Exactly. So so give me the Cornhuskers. South Carolina travels to Columbia, Missouri, which is a weird place to go play, Drew. The Tigers,
the Columbia Bowl.
That's exactly Columbia to Columbia. The Tigers are a 10.5-point home favorite. Bo Pribula is playing some good football for Missouri right now. Who you got, Cox or Tigers?
Cox or Cats? Sorry. We could have went much worse, okay?
It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been.
There was somebody on this show a couple weeks ago that said, ride the Cox, and I was out. But anyway, we're continuing.
I'm not riding the Cox in this. I think one of my best calls of the year so far has been how good Bo Pribula is. I couldn't be higher on Missouri right now than what I am. I think Missouri's got you talk about the big three quarterbacks of the SEC coming into the season was Lenora Sellers, whole boy from Florida,
DJ
Lagway, and Arch Manning. And instead, we're talking about Crazy Legs Hurst, what's his name? John Mateer, Bo Pribula, and Taylon Green. And I think Bo Pribula is great. The transfer running back they got from ULM is great. I think he walks to practice and runs over people on the way to the practice field.
Absolutely.
The dude is just
so
a
good.
Bowling ball of butcher.
Ahmad Hardy, he's been so good.
So good. So I think Missouri wins. I think they win big. South Carolina's a fraud this year. They're spiraling. Last year they finished the season winning 6 in a row. I don't see it this year. This has had too much expectations that's been dashed way too soon. It's just kind of going the wrong way for Missouri. Give me the Tigers.
I do need to own that right here. I'll admit in front of God, our friends, and everybody that Uncle Buck was right here. He took Missouri as his SEC team to watch. He took Missouri as a team that was going to be outside of the top 25 to finish in the top 10. And I took Georgia Tech, so I'm not all the way wrong. But I was much higher on South Carolina than I was Missouri coming into the season, only for Bo Pribula to have 791 yards, complete 77% of his passes, 7 touchdowns to 1 pick, though he has been sacked 7 times already. Something to watch with Dylan Stewart in South Carolina. But all you got to do is turn around and hand the ball off to Ahmad Hardy, who has just been running the ball like beast mode junior from Missouri. There's a lot to like about what Missouri is doing. We had Gerard Hamilton from the
Power
Missouri. Yeah, Power Mizzou. Thank you. On the show talking about how Missouri was going to be a sleeper this year, and dadgummit, they have been. Give me the Tigers. I think they win by 2 touchdowns pretty easily at home. I'm out on South Carolina. They were on my bear market. They were one of my flat broke teams this week. I'm out on South Carolina, and it starts this weekend.
Grok has Missouri as well.
Yeah. Next up, Drew, did you know you could go right now to the Gainesville, Florida Chipotle's and ask for the DJ Lagway Carne Asada Bowl? What you'll get is for $17.50, you get a bowl with brown rice, carne asada, queso, fresh tomato salsa, lettuce with chips and queso, and they will hand it to somebody else.
Sounds pretty good.
Florida travels to Miami, and Miami's a 7.5-point home favorite in Coral Gables. Coming in, you've got Florida, who is reeling. That drive chart against LSU is nasty work.
Exactly.
DJ Lagway has almost the same amount of interceptions with fewer passes this year than last year. I've been on this train for the last 2 weeks, and like last Saturday, I got yelled at for about 8 minutes at Grind City Brewing. You're home for college football Saturdays this year by 2 buffoons. And all DJ Lagway went out and did that night was make me look really smart. Florida's defense kept him in that game against LSU. I don't think Florida's defense has a prayer against Miami and Carson Beck with the way they're playing. Miami's offensive line has been incredible. They protected Carson Beck. He is playing at a Heisman caliber level for the Canes. This is a rivalry game. This is a statement game. I think the Canes smell blood in the water. Florida is absolutely reeling. Like Billy Napier is running comps on Zillow. And I think that Miami walks away with this game. I don't think it's going to be 31-7 or 41-0, but I think Miami covers the 7.5 very easily. I think they win this game by 15 or 20 points. And I don't even know if it's that close. The only reason it'd be that close is because of Florida's defense. But Carson Beck, just an absolute machine right now. Give me the Canes to walk away with the Gators. And I think the over-under for DJ Lagway interceptions is set at 3.5. And I think you hammer the over.
Listen, you have to find a way to respond if you're Florida. I think that you go through there, and for the offense, you strip it down. You make it simpler. DJ Lagway obviously was rattled. There's no doubt about it. He was not looking in the right spot. He was not seeing coverages. He was locking on receivers.
He was telegraphing every pass.
He was telegraphing everything, and you have to make life simpler for him. With the amount of talent that man has in his right shoulder, you've got to make it simpler for him. And I would hope that that's what they do this week. On the defensive side of the ball, they just say, Just keep doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
Your quarterback
They've been
handed the
good.
ball to the other team 5 times, and you only allowed 10 points and off of LSU drives. You had a pick six, and you had an interception deep into your own territory in which LSU just kicked a field goal. So I'm not even going to give LSU offense any credit at all for that. So you lose the turnover margin by 5, and you only give up 10 points. Great job. Hats off. On the road, Death Valley at night. I don't see a situation in which DJ Lagway plays worse. I mean, 5 interceptions on the road is
That's
astronomical. How many times can you say that anybody has ever doubled down on a performance like that? And with that defense, you're giving me more than a touchdown. So I'm just going to keep riding with them. I'm going to say Florida plus 7.5. Again, you gave LSU the ball 5 times and you only gave up 10 points. Like if Miami covers, it's because there's multiple pick sixes, because that Florida defense is as good of a defense as Miami will face this year.
It is. It's really good.
I've not just went total 180 on Carson Beck yet. Like you have. Carson Beck, Georgia fans hated him last year, probably unjustly so to a degree, but Carson Beck, when it mattered most, did PP down his leg on many occasions. So I'm just going to keep riding with Florida, just mainly because I'm bullish and hard-headed, and I just want to be right. And if it turns out that I am right, I don't want to have jump sides.
Well, I'm hanging out on the DJ Lagway side. Carson Beck, he's 812 yards, 80% completion rate on this young season, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, only been sacked 2 times. That Miami offensive line has been good. And they have
Edward, I can't lose money. I can't gamble in Mississippi.
Yeah. They have forced 7 turnovers, 4 interceptions, 3 interceptions, 4 fumbles forced on this young season. I think they add to that tally tomorrow night. It's going to be like I can't wait to gloat even more on Monday when DJ Lagway is bad. And lastly, our final pick of the weekend in what has been a game that we talked about already, because I had Illinois up in my poll yesterday. You said this is a prove it game. The Fighting Illini traveled to Indiana, and it surprisingly is a 6.5-point road dog, especially coming in. What does FanDuel and Vegas know, Drew, about Indiana that we don't, to give them a 6.5-point cushion?
And Grock also has Miami in that game. So, sorry.
Smart.
All right, so to me, it feels like the wrong team's favored. I don't know about you, but Illinois, top 10 ranked team in the country, going on the road to Indiana, who is ranked how? How highly are they ranked? 20 in the 20s,
I'm looking.
right?
They are 19th.
19th. So I'm going to go Illinois. I think they're just the better team. I talk ad nauseum about returning quarterbacks. Luke Altmaier, third-year starter at Illinois, and Brett Bielema's offense. I'm just going to go with the road team here. It's not like Indiana is like some Death Valley's top place to go play. So give me Illinois. And if I'm wrong, I'll have Indiana ranked very much highly, and Illinois will be dead to me.
That's fair. And I'm going with the Illini for the same reasons. Lee Beebe Jr. is the starting running back for Indiana. He's a UAB transfer. He was off to a hot start. He's now out with a season-ending injury. Indiana's going to be trying to figure it out on the offensive side of the ball. Illinois has one of the best scoring defenses in the country. Yes, they haven't been super tested yet, but they're giving up basically no points. If they can continue to run the ball effectively as they have, the defense can continue to play at a high level. Don't go beat yourself on the road. Let Luke Altmaier get in a rhythm, which he has been so far this season. I think Illinois has a really good chance to get another big win on this young season and be kind of building themselves up to be a contender in the Big Ten, given the schedule that they have ahead of them. Because after this, as we've talked about, their only ranked opponent remaining is Ohio State. You got to be competitive with Ohio State. Don't expect me to pick them against Ohio State, but you're going to be competitive with Ohio State. And you come out of this season with 1 loss, maybe 2, both of them being to Ohio State, then I think you have an outside shot at a playoff spot. Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you saw this or not, the over-under is around 44 points, I believe.
It went up.
Okay, what is it now?
It's 50.5.
Okay. Well, it did go up a little bit then. I was going to say, with a 44.5 point margin and you've got to overcome, win by a touchdown, You know, with a 6.5 point favorite and a 44 to 44.5 point margin over under, that implies a 26-19 win for Indiana if they're going to cover. I don't see that if it's that low scoring of game. I don't see Indiana winning by that margin. So.
Yeah, that's going to be – I mean, even 50.5, they're expecting this to be a slugging, old-fashioned Big Ten just rock fight, and I think I might agree. But I think
Brock says Indiana.
Brock says Indiana. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's going to be our picks for today. Y'all play along. Keep up with us. We're going to put these on our Instagram story. Y'all go vote. If you don't follow us on Instagram, if you don't follow us on X, first of all, shame on you. Why don't you? Second of all, here's our handle, @2bucks_BCM. Give us a follow on both platforms so you can keep up with all our buffoonery and tomfoolery. We're going to have our donut picks up this afternoon. We're going to have the pick'ems in the morning. Y'all check those out. Drew, good show today, man. It's a good way to end the week. What do you got planned this weekend?
Yeah, I will be calling a football game tonight in Faulkner, Mississippi. And then tomorrow is I will watch the Rebels play, try to watch some football in the morning and the afternoon, and then we will go and celebrate my mom's 60th birthday. And so big shout out to Mama Vicky. She is dreading this like no one's business. I think it's just kind of like the title. Like you just you're in your 60s now and you start to feel old. Me and Dad were talking the other day and he was like, when I look in the mirror, I don't see Grandpa that's almost 60. He's like, I still see somebody your age. And I was like, well, Dad, it's like, I don't see you as a grandparent either. Like he is the same age that my grandparents were when I was my kid's age. And I thought that my grandparents were old. I don't think that of my dad, even though he's a grandparent now. So they're having some real image crises, I think. So I don't know how much celebrating will be happening, but we will be with family together. My sister came in town with my nieces, and so we'll have a big time.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going tonight to watch Ty play at Walnut. I'm doing the Mid-South Card Show tomorrow at the venue at Bartlett Station. Y'all come hang out with that. Then we're going to Jackson tomorrow night. Maggie's dad's birthday was this past Monday, so we're going up there to eat at a restaurant in Jackson, Tennessee, the great metropolis that Maggie is from. So excited for just a quiet weekend. Otherwise, busy couple of days, but then Sunday, I ain't got no plans. I ain't doing nothing. I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to sit. I'm going to put a rear end in a recliner, and that's all I'm doing on Sunday. So
what is it? Leather, cloth, or porcelain? I'm going to be sitting on some kind of throne.
Exactly right. That's the new tag for the $2 Sports Show. Porcelain, leather, or cloth. I'm going to be sitting on something. That's going to do it for your Friday edition of the $2 Sports Show. Appreciate everybody. Edward, King, Meeks, Jared, hanging out with us in the comments. Again, if you're on
Cousin Kirk.
Cousin Kirk.
Go Huskers.
Cousin Kirk. Big Huskers guy, Cousin Kirk, protecting the byways and highways of the great state of Mississippi. We appreciate you and your service, sir. Y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right. With the $2, you always get what you pay for. We'll see you guys back here on Monday. And until then, have a good weekend.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.